You know that moment when you first board the ship, drink in hand, ocean breeze in your hair, and it hits you. This is it, vacation mode, fully activated. But what if I told you that same ship has security footage of things you didn't even realize you were doing? That some passengers didn't make it past day 3, and that one very flirty balcony kiss? It's now TikTok famous. Yep, cruising has a naughty side. And we're about to dive into 11 wild truths that could save you from fines, embarrassment, or waking up to your face on someone else's viral video. Ever seen yourself in someone else's vacation video, doing something you really thought was private? That quiet corner of the upper deck? Turns out it's lit up like Times Square under infrared. And that steamy balcony kiss? It might already have 40,000 views. And a comment from someone who recognized your swimsuit. Welcome to cruising in the age of Wi-Fi. Every passenger is armed with a smartphone. Cameras are rolling 24/7. And privacy? It's more wishful thinking than reality. Each week, viral clips surface. Boozy brawls, midnight mischief, public romance gone too far. And cruise lines? They're watching too. Most have strict conduct policies, and if you cross the line, don't be shocked if you're escorted off at the next port. Often with no refund, and sometimes, if it's serious, straight into the hands of local authorities. Of course, not every incident leads to a lifetime ban. But when you're 200 miles offshore, the cruise line is the law, and they rarely play soft. So before you do something bold and blurry, ask yourself, would I be okay seeing this on someone else's TikTok feed? If not, maybe save it for karaoke night. You walk in, lights flashing, music pumping, and for a second, you think you've stumbled into Vegas. But that's where the similarity ends. The odds? Let's just say they're not exactly in your favor. Many games are designed to look like skill-based challenges, but in reality, the house still holds the edge. Those flashy claw machines or unlock the safe games, they're engineered to be tough to win. Not rigged, but definitely not generous. Unlike land-based casinos with strict regulations, cruise ship casinos operate under maritime law with way looser oversight. Translation? They can set payout rates however they want, and spoiler alert, it's usually not in your favor. And the slot machines? Often have lower payout rates compared to land-based casinos, especially on shorter cruises where passenger turnover is fast. Here's another twist. Cruise casinos are usually cashless. Your winnings get loaded onto your room key account, not handed to you in chips or vouchers. Easy to spend, easy to forget, and dangerously disconnected from your wallet. And imagine this. You hit a jackpot but forgot to insert your room key. Now you're stuck waiting while staff figures out how to verify it was really you. Not fun. So yeah, play for fun. Set a budget. Know when to walk away. Because while you might be feeling lucky, the ship always sails with the bigger stack. There's something about cruises that makes people extra flirty. Maybe it's the ocean breeze, the endless daiquiris, or the fact that everyone's in vacation mode with zero responsibilities. So yeah, flings happen. A lot. If you're single and open to meeting someone, check the daily planner. Most cruises host singles mixers or themed parties where it's basically socially acceptable to walk up and say, "So, you here alone too?" But here's the thing. Cruise ships are not big. Hook up with someone on night 1 and regret it by night 2? Congrats, you'll still be seeing them at the buffet, by the pool, and maybe even in your snorkeling group. Awkward. So flirt away, but keep it classy. Be kind, be clear, and if sparks fly, great. If they fizzle, don't turn it into a ship-wide soap opera. Because nothing ruins sunrise yoga quite like locking eyes with your ex-cruise flame while holding warrior pose. Your cabin might feel like a private bubble, but don't forget, your steward walks in at least once a day, sometimes twice. And they're not just fluffing pillows and folding towel animals, they notice more than you think. As one Royal Caribbean steward put it, "We see everything. We have to report alcohol violations. It's not personal, it's our job and the ship's safety protocol." Open suitcases, questionable souvenirs, that just one bottle of wine tucked behind the extra towels. They're trained to spot prohibited items, and yes, reporting it is part of the job. One passenger on a recent Carnival cruise thought they were being clever, hiding Jack Daniels in shampoo bottles. They ended up with a $500 fine and zero refund sympathy. Now, not everything leads to a fine. Sometimes it's just a quiet confiscation. But depending on the cruise line's policy and what exactly they find, you could end up with a warning, a penalty, or a very awkward conversation at guest services. Push your luck more than once, though, that's when things get serious. Multiple violations can get you blacklisted from that cruise line permanently. And yes, they do share information with other cruise lines. One mistake might be forgiven. A pattern? Not so much. So do yourself and your steward a favor. Keep personal items tucked away, follow the rules about what you can bring on board, and maybe don't treat the room like a college dorm during spring break. They're not judging. They're professionals. But yes, they notice. You step onto your balcony. The breeze is perfect, the ocean is glowing, and for a moment, it feels like your own private escape. Except, it's not. On many large ships like Carnival's Vista class or Royal Caribbean's Quantum class, balcony decks are tiered. That means the folks on the upper decks, they've got a direct view of yours. Wave hello. The partitions between cabins, they don't block sound either. So if you're venting about your in-laws over morning coffee, your neighbors now know all the tea. And at night, when your cabin lights are on, that tinted glass works in reverse. You see darkness. Others see you. Thinking of getting a little free out there? Might want to rethink. On most cruise lines, public nudity, even on balconies, can lead to warnings or fines. Yes, even if it's just a quick skinny dip under the stars. So here's the move. Close the curtains when the lights are on. Keep conversations low. And if you're planning any bold balcony moments, maybe save them for inside, with the drapes pulled. Because out at sea, someone's always watching, sometimes from deck 10. Before you ask, no, there's no footage. Nude cruises ban cameras. So if you were hoping for a visual, not happening here. Sounds like a joke, right? A cruise where no one wears clothes? But yep, it's real, totally real. These are full ship charters booked by groups who believe in body freedom, good energy, and very minimal luggage. Don't worry, you can't just stumble onto one by mistake. They're clearly advertised, booked months in advance, and very much opt-in only. No surprise birthday suits over breakfast. And truthfully, most are more spa retreat than spring break. Still, rules apply. You have to wear clothes in the dining room. Health codes are universal. Curious but not quite ready to bear it all? Some lines like Virgin Voyages have adult-only sun decks where topless sunbathing might be allowed. But try that on Royal Caribbean or Carnival, and you'll be asked to cover up. Quick. Mainstream cruise lines like Royal Caribbean, Norwegian, and MSC strictly prohibit nudity in public spaces. Even on your private balcony, full nudity is generally discouraged. If someone can see you from a nearby deck, that's a code of conduct violation waiting to happen. So yes, nude cruising exists. Whether it's for you, totally your call. Just maybe bring extra sunscreen and keep your phone in your pocket. Literally. A quick 3-night cruise from Miami sounds like the perfect little escape. Easy, affordable, no long packing list. What's not to love? Well, just know what you're signing up for. Short cruises, especially weekend sailings, tend to draw a very specific crowd. Think birthday trips, bachelor parties, college reunions, people looking to let loose fast. By night 1, the pool deck's a dance floor. Bars are packed, karaoke gets bold, and by night 2, there's a distinct blend of tequila and someone slurring, "Wait, did we actually do that?" Now, that energy can be a blast, if you're into it. But if you were picturing a quiet balcony morning with coffee and sea breeze, this kind of cruise might feel more like spring break at sea. Longer cruises, like 7 nights or more, usually attract families, retirees, and seasoned cruisers. It's less about all-night parties, more about exploring ports and sleeping in without FOMO. So what's your vibe? Floating nightclub or slow sailing escape? No wrong answer, just pick the ship that fits your mood. Let's not sugarcoat it, even floating resorts can attract sketchy behavior. Cruise ships feel like floating paradises. Everyone's smiling, drinks are flowing, sunsets are perfect. What could possibly go wrong? Well, just like anywhere else, crime can happen. And while serious stuff is rare, petty theft and scams, not so much. We've heard stories. like the couple who left cash out on the vanity only to come back from shore excursion and poof, gone. Or the guy who handed money to a tour guide at the port only to realize he just paid some dude in a tank top to disappear with his wallet. And don't forget, thousands of people are on that ship, some with access to rooms, some just wandering hallways. Keep your cabin locked. Use the safe. And please, don't leave expensive jewelry lying next to the TV like you're in a home goods commercial. Oh, and if something feels off, trust your gut. Report it to security right away. They're trained, discreet, and they'd much rather deal with a false alarm than a full-blown incident. Cruises are safe, but safe doesn't mean careless. Ever wish you could rage quit a vacation? Not on a cruise. Here's something first-time cruisers don't always realize. Once that gangway pulls up and the ship leaves port, you're committed. This isn't like a road trip where you can pull over when things get weird, or a hotel you can just check out of early. On a cruise, you're in it. No turning back. No Uber rides home from the middle of the ocean. So if halfway through the trip you decide you hate cruising or you get seasick, too bad. You'll have to wait until the next port. And even then, getting off early isn't easy. Unless it's an emergency, you're staying on board. And if you do have to leave, hope you've got a few $1,000 handy for a last-minute flight from somewhere you've never heard of. And just so we're clear, yes, the cruise line can absolutely make that call. The ship operates under the laws of the country where it's registered, usually the Bahamas, plus maritime law, plus the cruise line's own policies. Being in international waters doesn't mean there are no rules. If anything, the rules just shift, and they still have teeth. Back in 2011, a passenger named Jim Keskany was kicked off a Nude cruise in Guadalupe, Mexico. His flight home cost $1,500, and the cruise itself, $4,000. Gone. No refund, no second chances. That's why travel insurance isn't just a maybe, it's a must. Stuff happens, plans change, and being stuck at sea with no way out, not exactly the plot twist you want on vacation. So before you board, double check. Are you really ready to set sail? Because once you're out there, you're out there. You might think, it's legal back home. I've got a medical card. I'm fine. Wrong. Dead wrong. Cruise lines have a zero-tolerance policy when it comes to marijuana, medical card or not. If you're caught, you could be escorted off at the next port, lose the entire cost of your trip with no refund, and in some cases be banned from that cruise line for life. And it gets worse. Imagine stepping off in Mexico or another port where local laws are way stricter. Now, you're not just dealing with ship security, you're dealing with police, paperwork, maybe even jail time. One recent case, a passenger pulled out their medical card, thinking it would help. It didn't. They were left behind at the port, scrambling for a flight home that cost thousands. Vacation over. And don't think you can outsmart the system. At many embarkation ports, drug-sniffing dogs are waiting right at the gangway. One bark, and your dream cruise is officially canceled. So until cruise lines change their rules, and trust me, that's not happening anytime soon, leave the weed at home. Don't let one habit turn your bucket list trip into a headline. So you're 18, feeling grown and ready for your first cruise. You stroll up to the bar, flash that confident smile, and order a drink. The bartender politely laughs and says, "Nice try." See, if your cruise departs from a US port, the drinking age is still 21, just like on land. Doesn't matter if you're in the middle of international waters doing the Macarena, no ID, no mojito. But here's the twist. Once you step off the ship at certain ports, Mexico, the Bahamas, a lot of the Caribbean, the local drinking age is often 18. And suddenly, that same daiquiri is totally legal, as long as you're on land. Sounds like a loophole, right? It is. But don't get too excited, because if you come back to the ship hammered, stumbling, or looking like a walking liability, security has every right to deny you reboarding until you sober up. Or worse, they might leave you behind. And no, I just turned 19 isn't a good excuse for missing your floating hotel. So yeah, know the rules, enjoy the ports, but maybe hydrate between shots, and always, always watch the time. You'd think this goes without saying, but it happens all the time. Passengers light up in their cabin, on their balcony, or sneak a vape thinking it's just one puff. No big deal. Except, it is. Fire is one of the biggest safety threats at sea. That's why cruise lines ban smoking in cabins and on most balconies. It's not about being strict, it's about not setting the entire ship on fire. One quick cigarette in your stateroom, that's a $250 fine, plus cleaning fees. And yes, they'll charge it straight to your onboard account without blinking. So unless you want to burn cash faster than your lighter, use the designated smoking areas. They're well-marked, well-ventilated, and come with zero drama. Your lungs, your wallet, and your cabin steward will thank you. So yeah, cruising is amazing. But knowing the unspoken rules, that's how you turn a good trip into a great one. From casino traps to midnight flings, sneaky drink laws to surprise cameras, there's a lot they don't put in the brochure. But now, you know better. If you learned something new, or just realized you've already broken half these rules, go ahead, hit that like button. Drop a comment and tell us which tip surprised you most, or which one almost got you kicked off the ship. And hey, don't forget to subscribe, because we've got even more behind-the-scenes cruise secrets coming your way. Until then, happy cruising. Stay smart, stay sneaky, and we'll see you on the pool deck.